Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Mm. Let's see who shows up today. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. How you doing? If you're coming in, hit the like button. Please subscribe if you have not. And if you feel inclined, donate. I know everybody's talking about the Cardi B Tasha K thing. I might get into that today. Might not. It's not my buddy. I'll try to make it. Woo! It's good. Let me know who's in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing? Please don't tell me this is just the haters. Just the haters. What's up? What's up? What's up? Gavin St. Clair. Trill Bentley. What's up, fellas? Gonna have an interesting topic today. I want to talk about what is black masculinity in the 21st century. Oh, yes, also the goddamn law. You know, the ladies call me Charlie, Charlie Puddin' Pie. Damn, that guy is so goddamn fly. Kiss the girls and make them cry. Who else we got in the chat? Don't be shy now. You see, we got some more liquors. Got some damn onlookers, don't worry. See, we're gonna actually make a definition of what is masculinity for black men in the 21st century. If some of you listen to the radio show on the Coyote Man Network, the Coyote Man Show Network app, you would actually hear the entirety of the show when I'm doing the radio show on Mondays. And you would, in particular, this last Monday, you would hear a young man speak about the ills of black men in the community. Hmm, interesting, right? The shamefulness of it all is this guy was treating the situation like his ass was not a black man. What's up, Tori and Rain? Good stuff. Hopefully you checked out the radio show Monday on the app where I talked about that guy and that situation and how the black community does masculinity a disservice. Pull up a seat, good time. Everybody get some cigars and some cognac. Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Don't forget to hit the cash app. Oh yeah, Those cigars and cognacs don't buy themselves. Hit the cash app. And I really start to think about this, that masculinity in our community is not as respected as others. Masculinity in the black community is treated as, I need something. I need you to protect me. I need you to do things for me. And I'm going to guilt you out of it because if you don't, you're not a real man. Japon, what's up? Woo! Instead of defining masculinity yourself, you basically have people on such a scale where we're going to define masculinity only when it benefits us. You don't get a cut of the pie. You don't get any respect. It's only going to benefit us. When you start to think about 21st century masculinity, you have to go to the earliest part of it. For a lot of young men coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a blur. It was a blur. There was an epidemic of simping. You know, during the 90s and the early 2000s, there was a bunch of songs of Can You Pay Bills, Scrubs. Everything you do had to be in the service of someone else, in particular, a woman. Your masculinity was not defined by your good works, your character, your strength, your integrity, your honor. No, it was defined by what you can do for a woman. And see, when we get into those tightly debated subjects, notice how the heightened and the heat rises. That heightened sense of awareness just rises. Notice when you get on panels with women and we talk about what a real man is, you're not a real man unless you can pay some bills. You're not a real man if you can protect me, especially if I started the incident. You're not a real man if you don't take care of somebody else's children. Because one, you were never respected in the first place, black man. The same black man that got you out of slavery, the same black man that stuck with you during Jim Crow, the same black man that stuck with you during civil rights, the same black man that stuck with you during the crack epidemic, the same black man that got you out of the violence of the 90s, the same black man who got you out of bankruptcy in the 2000s, the same black man that got you out of the war on terrorism in the 2010s. Hell, the same black man that stuck with you during COVID is still not allowed to define his own masculinity. How about that? Curious. See, at least pit bulls and Rottweilers are treated a lot better. Hold on for a sec. Torian said, "I get this, Officer Faulkner. You mentioned all that, but it's one thing we don't have, and that's whiteness. That's where we stumble, according to people like that." Um, see, this is what happens when you tell the greatest lie. Well, the second greatest lie. The first greatest lie is convincing people that the devil doesn't exist. The second greatest lie is convincing that white people did so much shit for the world. And they really didn't. They're some of the laziest creatures ever. If you look at historical evidence, it proves it. And here it is, right? Our women claim they're pro-black, but chase whiteness down like FloJo. I'm going to say that again. They claim pro-black. They claim for their people, but they chase things down like FloJo. And the reason why is because the female mind has always been more susceptible to subconscious suggestion. It's been proven. When you look at the male's brain and a female's brain, the male's brain is more governed by logic. What's up? We got the Dr. Supreme and the Snowman up in here. We got Dr. Art New Style. So that's one of the major reasons why you had an epidemic of single motherhood and not single fatherhood. But let's get into this closely. How many black women have you seen champion LGBT rights and not the rights of their own sons getting a proper education? They will go down knuckling up with senators, police, whoever, state police, sheriffs, National Guard for LGBT rights. But you couldn't get one of them to fart past the Board of Education for their boys. You couldn't get them to fart past the school to prison pipeline for prison reform. You were never going to get that. You were never going to get that. What's up? I'm listening. What's up, Pookie? So, not only were you not allowed to define your masculinity, you were not even given support to be masculine. You are always given the burden of being a man, protecting, problem solving, procreating, provisions. And what do you get to show for it? Her disdain, her complaints, her betrayal. How many men are in child support right now, not because they're terrible fathers, but because they're vindictive? Because of out of it a vindictive act. Remember, not only this, you're not only not allowed to define it, it's not supported, but there's a strong belief in the black community. You don't need a father at all. You don't need a man at all. for 40, almost 50 years. I don't need a man, but you should still protect me. I don't need a man, but you should still give me money. See, in the 21st century, you're only a good man if the women agree to it. In the 21st century, you're only a good man if you do not express your masculinity. In the 21st century, you're only a good man when you're ready to be used like a carpenter uses a tool. In the 21st century is when you will criticize your own gender just for the butter biscuits and admiration of the women who seek nothing but your submission and servitude. Back in the day, a man was who he was out of what he could protect, what he could build, what he could grow, what he could destroy, what he could conquer. Today, a man's only a man if he can hit it right. Even when it comes to the act of sex, it's predicated on the man. She could be horrible in bed, but don't you misstep for 5 seconds. So I don't hear me though. You are literally the proverbial ATM with a penis. Literally. You're not even deserving of a proper education, respect, your children, or even breathing above ground. Ask BLM. Ask Michelle Wallace. Ask Dr. Brittany Cooper. You don't have to take my word for it. Just go research it. These hyper feminists will come to arms against anything that is prolific in the movement and the upliftment of young black boys and men. I would love to ask all those women on that proverbial road to Damascus as Saul was encountered by Jesus Christ. Saul, why do you hate me? And they're going to answer not, trembling through the brightness and greatness of the masculine presence that I bring. Only to give me nothing but unreasonable subterfuge, deceit, disdain, and downright hatred just for having a penis. Your masculinity is defined as not being respected, but what have you done for me lately? You have been discarded. You have been sidelined and sabotaged, all for the sake of what? The the pedestation, the glorification of women who second guess themselves. I'll leave that one for it. We'll come back to that one. Now we got to go to the next character in this narrative. The simp. The self-loathing simp. The man who's the part of black men have no standards, black women have no shame, and this is the standard we come across. You will accept mistreatment. You will accept humiliation just for the, shout out to Ellen Roger Carey, the possibility of sex. Where does a man ever get respected by anybody who's using them? Some simps know even damn well they're barking up the wrong tree, but will still try to piss on that damn thing regardless of what the outcome may hold. But we don't know anything, right? We don't understand this. What we have here is a person willing to portray their own. A person. There's a long story. One of my homeboys, shout out to Ali, and we were up there on Harvard Road. That's how long ago it was. That's almost ages ago now. And one of his uncles said some profound shit. Yeah, sometimes we curse on my show. Get over it. And he stated, any man that'll try to screw your woman or try to cut you down in front of a woman or dirty hustle you in front of a woman is the same Negro that will get you killed. The simp is damn sure not to be trusted because he does not have the discipline nor the self-respect to be an honorable man. His integrity is shot. His respectability is disgusted. Anybody that would embarrass himself for the possibility of sex, the attention of the opposite sex, is a creature that will take you out by any means necessary. Now, we're going to go into what Dr. Umar was trying to ask. LGBT. LGBT. Where do you stand? Because you can't say you stand for black masculinity when you're too hard trying to be the ratchet chick. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. LGBT. How many times have you came out with BLM, which is a lesbian ran organization? Yes, under George Soros and all those people. How many times have you protested for the rights of young black boys and young black men without trying to convert them to your side? Where do you stand? Because if I take a gander, you're too busy trying to be the ratchet. And, and I'm going to say this, right? No sense does that make. By the way, that's going to have to be on a t-shirt as well. No sense does that make. What's up, Miss Toya, son? Great interview with you and Dr. Dunbar. Woo, girl. The lovely, lovely Toya is in the building. Chicago writer, long time no see. A long ago savage, always faithful. Here it is, right? You so quick to just like that one young was a man or born a man in the video. If you listen to the app when I was doing the radio show, when he tries to criticize black men and all the troubles that happened in the black community, none of it was the women. Come on, pal. It takes two to make a thing go right. Wrong too. Hit that cash app too, people. Please support the channel. So that being said, when I look at black men being accosted, whether it was by police or by each other, the first damn thing you done to disrupt black male progression was to talk about trans lives matter, black gay lives matter. When the hell do you have a systematic institution against you? You literally had a president, a sitting president on your side. Nope. What's up, Mel? Nope, I did not check it out, but I bet you it's some bullshit. Ask me why, Negro Damas. Ask me why. Here it is, right? Here it is, right? You get this entire discussion being brought in front of gay people who happen to be black, and they will disregard it like they aren't. We got to talk about all the trans bodies that are on the ground and getting beaten up. Black men are the most homophobic. No, we aren't. We live by a system of, if I'm not into that, don't bother me, I don't bother you. We're into that. Don't bother me, don't bother you. Don't time it out. Just hide it because that's that little bot bullshit. Here it is, right? We're going to act like people who put themselves through whatever process that their psychosis said they are, their issues. What they say, I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, or I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. That's you. And I respect your choices. I respect your decisions. And I will support your decisions, but do not force me to go through your decisions because I can't even get the respect of being a black man from you. But you want me to respect you for your wishes. Why does respect when it comes to the black community always got to be a one-way street? No U-turns. Yeah, YouTube do be hiding. That's how you know you made it when you're officially shadow banned. That's how you made it. Make sure both them bells are clicked, man, because anytime you tell the truth in these parts, YouTube excommunicates you. You know what's amazing? If I talked about Cardi B and Tasha K right now, I probably would have like 80 to 100 people, maybe even 200 people watching. Or for what? One rich loudmouth is getting sued by another rich loudmouth. The end. I'm just gonna say this real quick since we're on that subject real quick. In my studies of having a PhD in womanology, I've learned very quickly, you know what type of woman you're dealing with and what type of background she has. All you have to do is get her upset. When Cardi DM'd her and tried to settle it like women, surprisingly, Tasha K, oh, you ain't gonna be playing on my phone. And look what happens. Look what happens. Number one grinder, I apologize. I was busy as hell. Got to link up with you this week or next week. And you look at the dysfunction, and next thing you know, she's damn near paying $4 million for a lie. But I'm gonna paint this picture for you, right? Because you know I'm not the smartest guy in the manosphere. But wouldn't it be intelligent to actually say, you know what? We're both mothers, we're both women. Let's cut this bullshit out. Okay? I'll give you this piece. I'll give you $100,000 as a peace treaty or whatever. You come on my show, we talk it out. I'll publicly apologize. That would have been Tasha's biggest fucking show ever. But you know what? This is what happens when you don't think long term. Think clearly. What's up, Leon? Woo! Thank you. You're right, Pookie. It's the ego, the narcissism. See, everybody's a bad motherfucker until they meet a badder motherfucker. And when all the truth came out, no pun intended, she got exposed. But this is the reason why you need black male leadership. Because if there was a strong black man between them two ladies, somebody would have told them, you stupid motherfuckers, cut it out. But this is how, shut the fuck up. Now go apologize to that woman before some shit starts. That's how your father and your grandfather done it. But once again, she married some African beta male dude. To get a kid out. And then next thing you know, you're in court and the motherfucker damn near has to pretty much testified against you. Idiocy, man. Now, back to the regularly scheduled programming, folks. I'm telling you, man. You let me beef with a guy if I had a big enough channel like 50 Cent. Like, you know what, 50, I apologize. Let's bring some of your liquor up here, have a couple of sips. I bring the cigars. I apologize publicly. How many fucking people you think will be watching me? The short-minded people. But yeah, you're right, Tareen. You're right. And this is the part about I'm gonna push that whole Cardi B and Tasha K incident into the 21st century masculinity. Not one damn man, two motherfuckers. Hold on for a second, folks. Hold on. I'm back. It's time to cook again. See, let's look at this. You got two married broads. Not one of their husbands stepped up and say, cut this shit out. Go apologize to that woman. No, because you got niggas too scared to say things to their own damn women. When you're a husband in the black community in the 21st century, you look more like a figurehead than a fucking leader. I'm going to say it again. Might hurt some people. You look more like a figurehead than a goddamn leader. Two catty motherfuckers going back and forth to the point it goes to court. And $4 million, nearly $4 million, damn near an let Tasha K would have been my wife. Shut the fuck up. The whole words would have been shut the fuck up right now. You fucking up the money. Now you apologize to this goddamn broad. You invite her on the show. You send her $100,000, 250 if you had to. Shut the fuck up. Invite her on the show. Get some fucking views and make some bank off of this shit. See, that's called logical male leadership. I noticed a lot of my viewership dropped off. Must be some Cardi B and Tasha K fans. I don't know. But yeah, all this because you can't tell your woman stop. All this because you can't tell your woman, let it go. You're about to lose your family, lose your wealth over a lie. What good is having a husband if he can't pull the brakes off of your fuckery? See, a husband's greatest job is to protect the kids from you and to protect you from your damn self. Do I need to say that again for the Negroes in the back? A husband's greatest job is to protect the kids from you and you from your damn self. Fumbled. She got Ray Lewis tackled. About to get to the end zone. Boom! Fumbled the damn ball. Somebody slid it. Chris McAllister slid it up. He lateraled it to Ed Reed. Touchdown. A 99-yard touchdown. Off of a goddamn fumble on the one. Oh, yeah. And that's another thing, because I'm pretty damn sure those men she drugged were black. Hold on, folks, for a second. I'm back again. So, you literally have grown ass men who allow that shit to go on. Mothers, yo, think about your damn children. You get sued, we're bankrupt. What the fuck you gonna leave them? Maybe one of them should have leave the fucking quaaludes and the note and the nitol, and the other one need to put the wine back on the goddamn shelf. Your role as a husband is a figurehead and concubine only. Lionel said most men in the household never do this. Which is why we have men that just sit and watch as their women talk crazy to their children, creating a cycle of illogical adults. Facts. Leon said, "What's sad, Charles, is her fans are actually justifying her ignorance and telling her she did nothing wrong." Unfucking believable. Shaking my fucking head, nothing but sign language. It's it's incredible. But then we have to go back to another entity when it comes to masculinity. Non-black people. Yeah, I said it. Non-black people. You already seen footage in China where you had a black professional basketball player in China. They get mad about a call and they literally follow the crowd, the fans. You see all these Chinese people calling this black man a nigger with a ER, by the way. You're not allowed to say either, by the way. Chanting in the street while they're on the bus. Nigga, nigga, nigga. Get out of China. Go home, nigga. You're paying big money to see me play, but I'm a nigga. Make that make sense. But them fuckers can't even know their asshole from an elbow because half of them bitches are starving over there. But then we come to the good old US of A, where 10.5 million jobs open up, but they still aren't hiring black men. And it's costing the United States $50 billion. Make that shit make sense. Make that shit make sense. Hit the Cash App, people. $50 billion. You rather have the price ticket of $50 billion than to give black men work. So you want black men to commit crimes. You want black men not to be head of their households. You want black men to still be in bondage. You want the demise of black men by any means necessary. But the last guy who said that years ago, you had to go kill him. The last guy who said that had the complexion similar to mine, you had to go kill him. But you go out of your fucking way to see me and my descendants in poverty no matter what. And we have proven to be the most American. We saved you from the fucking Spanish American War, the Revolutionary War. We saved you from the Civil War, but all you pay us back is your disdain. All we want is peace and be able to take care of our goddamn selves and our families. But you constantly put us in a deficit. For what? Shout out to everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans. They want us to hold up the prison population count, Charles. That's why they doing this, bro. Of course. Of course. Tareem said the establishment would rather go down in flames than to see black men succeed. Make that make sense. We're going to put this on a t-shirt. Where are you, Shatterstar? No sense doesn't make. No rhyme, no reason. When I hear non-white people, non-black people, black women, gay black people say, why can't black men accomplish? Shut the fuck up. Shut complete and utterly the fuck up. You constantly undermine us at every drop, constantly. You constantly look for my destruction. And then you have the audacity to say, why I don't give a damn about sports? Why I don't give a damn about American politics? Why I don't give a damn about the infrastructure? Because you obviously didn't want the motherfucker to be made for me. AL said in a minute, Charles, they're going to be paying black women to help incarcerate black boys even more than they've been doing with the MHMRs and the medical institution as far as it's concerned. I mean, I really want you to look at this. You got so many entities when it comes to masculinity that has a claim to saying what we should do. But here's the funny fact, right? Not one damn person better open up their fucking mouth and part their damn lips when we define it for ourselves. Got the Roger report up in the building. Woo! Afro shot. Woo! Here it is. Roger been through more channels than the average person goes through underwear. All he did was talk the truth. All he did was try to look for the betterment of the black family and the black society as a whole. Mm. But not one there of you bitches and you simp ass niggas ever went after either Cardi B or Tasha K. Hell, a lot of motherfuckers still scared of Cynthia G. Let's talk that shit. And by the way, long live the habitual line steppers. Tragically, for a lot of black women out there who say, we don't owe black men shit, remember, that's a two-way street. Why should I protect you? Why should I randomly change a tire? Why should I come to your need when you're in need of aid? Why? You can't even give me femininity. You can't even give me respect. Why? Why should I exert my masculinity, my physical prowess, my intelligence, my drive? Why should I do it for you? Why? It's not any hatred. It's just an honest question. Why? What do I get out of it? See, that's the number one thing. What's up, Mike? He said, I'm here. I was in the gym. Get your mind right, get your body right, get your pockets right. Yep, that's the advice I could give. When I get back in the house, I'm going to start lifting again my damn self. Why? See, what happens when black men take an accountability of themselves, respect of themselves, and say, I don't have to do shit for you. I don't. I don't have to do a damn thing for you. For what? What am I going to get out of it? See, some of us got to be happy to watch establishment burn a little bit. As much as I don't want to see anarchy, I've been in an anarchy. So has Josh. So is Mike. So is Leon. It's a scary thing. But what would happen if black men just said, you know what? Fuck this shit. If I'm gonna deal with black women, I'm gonna deal with black women who got some damn sense. Fuck the rest of you. Or I'm gonna date outside my race. Or I'm just gonna SY, BM or whatever the hell it's called. And just stay to myself. What happened? What's gonna happen when black men truly use their superpower of indifference? What's up? Shout out to Leon with the super chat. He said, I think, Charles, we are the last of the Mohicans. Tasha K channel has to go. If that was a black man doing this to a black woman, we already know. See, when we start to define our own narratives, become the heroes of our own stories, you understand who the supervillains are once you start standing up for yourself. I'm going to say it again. Once you define your own narratives and become the hero of your own stories, you'll find out really quickly who the supervillains really are. The people who are in opposition of your freedom, of your degree, your trade, your getting out of bondage, your freedom. Look at all the people who want to keep you in a rut. Look at it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any damn sense. The people who like you being a part of the status quo, who want your neighborhoods to still be crime infested, rat infested, roach infested, single mothers everywhere, no intact families. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you to be well. I might open up the panel for a little bit. Mike said black women treat us like shit. We had enough. Interracial dating is at an all-time high. Black men are traveling abroad to find wives, which is true. But what's funny? Masculinity in the 21st century should be defined by us and us alone. I'm a man because I survived the crucible. I went through something of such experience, such training, and some type of fraternal order. I've been a soldier for God knows how long. I've been a police officer for God knows how long. I've been a coach and a mentor for God knows how long. And if that's not manly, I don't know what the fuck is. Sorry. If I cannot define my own masculinity, You don't have the right to say a goddamn thing about it. I am not a man because of what I could do in the servitude of people who don't respect me. Shout out to Dr. T.S.R. Johnson. I am not a goddamn concu serf. I'm not an unpaid bodyguard. I'm not a sex slave. I'm a goddamn man. I'm not somebody you can use a child to extort money from. I'm a man, a black man at that. The greatest fucking type of man that has ever been, that is currently, and that will ever will be. And we need to excommunicate anyone who thinks in opposition of that. If you are the supporter of the three things the black community doesn't give a fuck about, which I will say once again, black boys, education, and being the heroes of your narrative, get the fuck away from me. What's up, Chad? Woo! Jay Shines, Wu Tang, motherfucker, Wu Tang. If we don't actually come together and formulate a fraternal order for black men, and then maybe on down the line for other men as well, fucking forget about it. If we don't take these young boys now and guide them, teach them how to be tough, teach them how to be brave, teach them that it's cool to be intellectual, teach them that failure is one thing, but quitting is another. See, the God in you can do anything, right? That's what they say. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's the God in you can do anything. So if you're God, black man, as they say in the Bible, if the black man, aka God, is for you, who the fuck can stand against you? Have you ever noticed we piss greatness? None of our women would be successful in college if it wasn't for us taking the fucking body blows and the headshots. A lot of those chicks with kids, let's tell the truth about that shit. A lot of them wouldn't have degrees if it wasn't some dude helping her with the tests, buying the books, or watching the children while she was in fucking class. But we forget that. Shout out to Oliver the Gray. Woo! Afro Shop said, that's a big issue. Black women have been allowed to define what it is to be masculine and black when even blackness and race has a male gender coordination. It's up to them. Not any longer. Hell no, not any longer. See, the first thing you need to do is exercise those demons and call out bullshit when it's really bullshit. And sometimes the hardest task for a lot of young black men is to see the bullshit their mother has sprung upon them. Sometimes you gotta look at your mom and be like, wait a minute. If my daddy wasn't shit, what did that make you? Why did you keep me from my father? Did he abuse me? No. Why? See, a lot of dudes ain't ready to have that talk, even in their 30s and 40s. Shout out to Bucket 88 with the super chat. Woo! You're right. A lot of dudes don't set boundaries. Longo Savage said, next time someone sprouts that false, false that blasphemy that says the black woman is God, ask them, what does that, what does that, any of that shit mean if I'm an atheist now? See, you gotta understand something. This whole, oh, well, she's the giver of life. No, you're the carrier. I'm the giver of life. Your eggs are inert without my sperm. My sperm is living. I'm producing it every fucking second of every fucking minute, every fucking hour of every fucking day. You are not the giver of life. I am the seed. The seed is living. You are the fertile ground, which my seed is to be incubated to grow. Life does not start with you. You are not a god. You are a vessel. You could be a goddess, but you'd rather be a goddamn shame. How about them apples? And this ain't even hatred against women. See, the craziness of it all is this. Black men, we are going to have to step the hell up. As great as we are, we're going to have to push the production to the max. We're going to have to pump goddamn doctors, lawyers, police officers, firefighters, military personnel, pilots, engineers, teachers. We're going to have to pump that through the damn assembly line like never before. Shout out to 3000 GT Atlanta. We're going to have to pump out computer programmers, graphic designers. We're going to have to pump them out like never before. We're going to have to teach our kids, especially our boys, it's okay to defend yourself physically. It's okay to use your words, but when words to fail, it's okay to use your fists, your feet, your throws, and your joint locks. We're going to have to teach our sons there is no better friend, there is no better diplomat, there is no better ally, and there's no worst enemy. You make an enemy out of me, I will be the worst goddamn thing that hell could never dream. We need to teach our boys it's okay. We need to teach our boys that it's cool to be the nerd and it's cool to also know how to defend yourself. It's no matter how many people feel about the hard work, they should enjoy it because nobody can outman us. What's the guy? What's the guy who was the famous doctor of Hopkins? I don't know why his name is slipping my head right now. The cardiologist. The hell is that guy name? Laquan said, even when you tell them that they will fight against science and pure common sense, I don't see white athletes running this world. No, you will not. Oh, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ben Carson. Dr. Ben Carson. Regardless if you agree with him politically or not, the operations this man was performing were revolutionary and pretty much still are today. He did what no man on earth could do. That's why his book was titled Gifted Hands. What he had was a gift from God. Regardless of what you think of him politically, because if it was up to me, he would be my Surgeon General and not in charge of HUD. Sorry. But think about it. Why can't we build more Ben Carsons? We've already got enough ball players. Sorry. We already got enough entertainers. How many brothers are trying to become the next big lawyer, the next Johnny Cochran, the next Ben Carson, the next police commissioner, or whatever your respective jurisdiction is, the next fire chief, the next CEO of the Fortune 500 security firm, the next computer graphics designer, the next programmer. The installer of the world's greatest cybersecurity system is going to end up coming from the hands of a black man. Why not? Why not push the envelope now? I hate to sound like Trump, but what the fuck you got to lose? Your women going to hate you? Too late. White people going to get upset? Too late. Why not be one of them motherfuckers pissing on greatness? Why not? Sitting here in the city of Baltimore, I had wrestlers being told you should work at Giants when it's his dream to go to Ranger School. So I'm going to work at Giants instead of going to the military and studying and acing the ASVAB, where they're giving me a bonus from anywhere to $20,000 to $100,000 signing bonus. Really? This is how little we get women, even the mothers, how they think of their goddamn sons. Leon said exactly, Charles. Wonder why my mother chose ain't shit beta males to be my father. Yet women tell us we didn't hold men accountable, which is a crock of shit. Bullshit. Trust me, they when I hear this shit, it ruffles my fucking feathers and it curves my soul. You're not gonna tell me some bullshit that could have been preventable. Women for the longest time now had all the parental rights, all the reproductive rights, all the money, all the funding, all the child support, child custody, all the woe is me. I am just this tiny woman, but you still can't produce better fucking children than us. You know what? I'm going to say this officially. Fuck a street cred. I've had motherfuckers tell me I wasn't tough coming out the military and being a cop. I've lived in neighborhoods tougher than where I worked some days. I'm like, see, we got this bastardization of what toughness and street cred is. See, street cred is when your daddy didn't put any confidence in you to be a man. Street cred is a false realization of masculinity. You feeling me? What's up, AL?
Woo! Woo, woo, woo,
Woo!
woo.
What do you
We
think
are
about
black men, the real American original heroes, fighting
yeah.
forces of every damn body. 100%, man. Shit, we can't
What do you
win.
what do you think about what I was spewing for the last hour?
Shit, you on point, man. You my dude. I salute and I support 100%. Don't nothing you say
I
is
appre-
wrong.
uh,
Nailed
Other
it.
than
That's
hum-
good, Charles.
what's up,
when it
AB?
comes to the
Happy
speed,
birthday again.
man.
Thank you,
Happy
I'm
sir.
I'm
birthday,
hum-
AB.
I'm glad
I'm
you mentioned.
humbled.
I'm glad you mentioned street cred. Street cred has been bullshit for quite some time
A
because
long time.
because because the ugly truth is the real gangsters respect you no matter what you do.
Exactly. I'm
The
I'm gonna
real
Cause
tell you.
gangsters
I was
don't care nothing
always
about street
taught
cred.
real gangsters wore suits and they
Real
wore slip
gangsters.
and slide.
Real gangsters wore suits. You want to see some gangster shit? The
Hmm.
gangster ain't the nigga sagging his pants.
Nope.
The nigga up there in a 3-piece suit who can actually go into a boardroom or go into a floor of the Senate and dictate your life for the next 50 years.
Yeah, buddy. That's a gangster.
Yes,
That's
sir.
gangster as hell. So, Brian, think about it. Street cred. Well, Charles, you were never in the streets. Did I need to be?
No.
I mean, I walked from fucking East Baltimore, living on Eager Street. I used to jog downtown where B was to date myself. I remember where B is downtown when that used to be the movie theater. I used to go to play
Hmm.
Tekken there. Tekken
But
3, dating myself again.
but wait a minute, Charles.
Ooh.
Hold on. I got a
Looking
bone to
pretty.
pick.
Go ahead.
Saying you ain't got no street cred. If memory served me correct, didn't you start your scene as a B cop? So that means you had to walk the streets to get the cred, to deal with the motherfuckers. So that's some bullshit, bro. You earned your stripes.
Oh yeah. But see,
Mhm.
that's when you dealing with ignorant motherfuckers.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to the point you made about Tasha K that I didn't really think about, but you're right. Both of them got husbands and they were nowhere to be found in this bullshit.
Hmm. Hmm. And it just dawned on me just talking.
And oh man, my wife cost me $4 million, bitch. What the fuck you doing?
I be whooping her ass. I don't care if you
I
call me.
couldn't be her husband. I'd be like, nah,
Nah,
bitch, you cost yourself $4 million, bitch. We filing
yeah,
separately from here
yeah.
on out. And
Like
then if
everyone
you
files for
keep this
divorce.
shit
That
up, I'm
I'm like,
finna
oh no,
divorce you.
you ain't gonna cost me money. You ain't gonna fuck
Mm-mm,
up my money. No.
mm-mm. And then you look at it. What's Cardi B's husband name?
Offset.
Offset.
Offset. My name would have been changed to Upset. But bitch, what you doing? Like, but you already got this heat about you admitting. See, sometimes Cardi B can be one of them motherfuckers who fuck up a free lunch and a good
Hmm.
and a good hand job. I'm gonna be rich and famous and admit that I used to rob and drug and rob and possibly sexually assault with transgenders men out of money.
Hmm.
The dumbest Negroes in captivity, people.
Yep.
What's up, Observer?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Charles? This is the first time on my first time on your panel.
What's up with
Chilling, bro, chilling.
you? So what do you think about the conversation today?
I thought the conversation was a very interesting one. The topic of black manhood is, if I think this is the core issue. Like, if the core issue for a black man, obviously growing up in the U.S., if you don't understand this, then the rest of your life is going to be a lot more complicated, a lot more painful, and a lot more confusing if you don't understand this one topic.
The reason why a lot of pain, growing pains, and AB could back me up, is because you're not allowed to express it like other men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure you're black or you're white.
Oh no, I'm black, man.
Oh, black. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny because have you ever noticed that our smartest is never promoted like our best athletes?
Nope.
So we're
Not even
tamped
close.
down.
Yeah,
We're
I noticed.
we're tamped down on so many levels where if you took AB, who's a computer programmer, and if he went to the white community, he would be a god
It's actually quite
because they would.
relatable. It's actually what I do for work. Physics and computer programming.
Oh yeah, and how many white guys compared to black guys?
Actually, the majority of the guys I work with now, I won't disclose the company, are Indians.
No,
Like
you don't have. No, don't do that.
every
That's
time
not
there's
surprising.
every time there's a circulating like a letter for like the new hire, like 9 times out of 10, the dude's gonna be Indian.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that sounds about right. He's not lying about
Yep.
that.
Yeah. And see, this is the criminality of American politics over the head of black men. I know you're like, what do you mean, Officer Faulkner? Let me explain. Remember when I mentioned the 10.5 million jobs? How many of those jobs you think dealt with computer programming, cybersecurity, physical security? Probably a good chunk of it. The government could take you two guys and build up a platform or build up an educational system or cybersecurity to keep us from getting fucking hacked. But they will refuse it just because they don't want to give black men the credit.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
shout out to
I
and shout out
like
to Mr. Austin for the cash app. Whoa, go ahead, casual.
and any black man in STEM understands that when you go to work, like there's certain rules around like doing your work. Sometimes you could be working too slow. You could be punished for working too slow. You could be punished for working too fast. You could be punished for
Yep.
not being social enough. You could be punished for being too social. So anywhere you go, like you're straddling like your job on so many axes that like it becomes very stressful to manage all these potential issues.
Hmm. And what makes it crazy is that for this country to survive, its savior is going to be a black man, whether they like it or not. You don't get too much invention from white people. You never did historically.
Nope.
Even with Alexander Graham Bell, his chief engineer was a black man, and he actually sued over a lot of the patents. And get this, and won. So I'm just like this. We're gonna have to define masculinity. We're gonna have to define what it means to be a man in the black society, and we cannot allow anybody else to define it but us. No disrespect
I
to
agree entirely.
and
In my personal experience,
go ahead.
sorry, I have a little bit of a lag between myself and you.
Okay, cool.
In
Go
my
ahead,
personal
go ahead.
experience, and 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 anything that has to do with empowering, if you're a black guy working, or if you're a black guy buying a home, or if you're a black guy interacting with any one of your peers, there's certain rules around manhood that govern how it is that people are going to treat you. I had the experience once of actually going out to buy a home. Went to go meet up with a lawyer in order to sign some papers. And as I was signing the papers, the lawyer actually asked me, "Well, are you working?" Which is such a bizarre question to even ask somebody who's purchasing a home. You wouldn't ask that to anybody else because it's so illogical, and that like like I didn't even know what to say. I ignored the question at the time, but like I also had the same situation happen to me like a couple weeks before I actually went to go purchase a home, where I was stopped by like those folks on the street who raise money for charities, and I said I wasn't going to donate to the charity, and they said, "Well, are you working?" And I was dressed like I was going to the office, right? And the person had the nerve to ask me these questions, and like also like there are other like microaggressions, so to speak, at work as well too. But generally speaking, you run into so many of these like weird antisocial kind of things that are intended to undress you, and they could come from like the most random places and people that you're obviously
Mm-hmm.
like above. And like it could be like, yeah, it could be anyone. It could be at a restaurant, it could be the damn street guy raising money for charity. It's yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah, shout out to K Tut. Elon Musk is deified in the white community.
Yep. So it's Jeff
Uh,
Bezos
so is
and
Jeff
Bill Gates.
Bezos. Yeah.
Why do you think he had so many side chicks? Oops. Did I say that out
O-
loud?
Oops.
And what I've noticed as well too is uh, working with a lot of like obviously non-blacks in like in my field. I think like all of us in all our fields we have this a shared experience. But you have a lot of productive, well-to-do, level-headed, decent guys, but a lot of them end up being loners. They end up kind of living these solitary kind of recluse lives, versus other people tend to be a little bit more integrated in like the respective class within their own communities, right? That corresponds to whatever job it is that they're working. So it's a really bizarre phenomenon when you actually see it like play out like in the professional setting, but also like with some of your peers who may not work in your field, right? But they're also professionals as well too. It's really weird.
Oh yeah, it's weird because black boys are never taught to navigate the social cues of the business world like everybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the Indian guys, they're going in there to do what? To bring their brothers in. Their brothers probably not as good as you are with the computer, but guess what? They're gonna give them a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna give them their due. You can't even. We have to start doing what everybody else is doing.
Yep. We got to play the game.
We got to play the game. We can't allow. It's the same thing in law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell is somebody from West bumfuck Pennsylvania gonna fucking come to Baltimore and tell you they not a police better than you? Your city.
Mm.
How is it? You're gonna give them a six-figure job after a while and give them the chance to get promoted, come into the ranks, and run your city, and you're gonna let them do it. I do not promote the cowardly lifestyle. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's
On
what.
the
That.
sub.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, you go first, AB.
Okay. That's what I was talking about yesterday. With Art asked us if do we just need to sit out or do we need to? Some of us need to go vote for the Republicans, and I said both because, and one of the reasons I say that I know the Republicans ain't for us, but we need to play the same game they're playing.
Yeah.
I'm well aware that the Republicans are not for us, but sooner or later, as I said, they're losing their voter base is dying out too, and sooner or later they're going to have to submit to us.
Yeah. They're gonna
Why do you think they
come.
passing all these voting laws? I'm like, okay, you just delaying the inevitable.
You're just you're trying to alienate us, but we're more American than you. That's why there's such jealousy and hatred. Well, you don't understand that we're talking about family values. We believe in family
What family
values more than
values?
you. We had
Exactly.
family values for over a century. We were more married than you. You know, we ain't gonna take no shit from no Johnny come lately motherfuckers. And eventually we're gonna have to just speak with our feet. I suggest 1 year, black people don't vote. and they'll be like, well, what happened? We got tired of your bullshit. That's what happened. You put us on such a deficit. You went out of your way to make us all criminals. Why should we take our time to believe anything you got to say? Give me one.
I don't want to say anything way too controversial, but it's just I also have a background as well too in criminology. I did like a year of that in undergrad, and what I find fascinating is with this with a kind of opioid discussion that's happening now is the way I see it is like it is a role to formally decriminalize drug use on a race specific basis because previously all the research pointed towards alternatives to mass incarceration as the most beneficial policy. The policy has worked in Portugal. It's worked in other countries. It limits the amount of recidivism, obviously, in with drug use. But they didn't want to pass common sense reform here. But now they want to pass common sense reform for drug abusers, but they want to do it on a race specific basis by selectively using the policy on drugs that particular races have a high affinity to, which is very
Hmm.
offensive and it's surgically racist.
Oh yes, remember
Yep.
when
In
they
other words, they want to
when we
do it for
went,
opioids.
he do it. Want to do it for the white people?
Oh, meth. My bad.
Exactly. That's as open and overt as it gets, and to point that out isn't to complain or to invoke the race card. It's just
Hmm.
pointing out the objective reality, just as to reference the motivations for say criminalizing drugs that pose very little like like they don't intoxicate you to the point of being violent or to the point of potentially killing you like marijuana, to reference the historical basis for why it was legalized the way that it was and what they were saying at the time, the reason why they feared it. That's not that's not any more offensive. That's being historically accurate to why to their motivation for criminalizing many of these substances. And these substances, these like substance abuse policies and possession tend to be the way they ding black men the most. When you have a third of black men expected to that enter the penal system by the point where by the time that they're 50, like that's obscene. 30% is too much.
Yep. Well,
And
I'm sorry, I
that's
forgot one more drug. Apparently, there are a lot of white crackheads running around now. They took that they took that from us too. They can have it,
oh
but
man,
still.
man, they originally took it from us. Who do you think we sold to first?
Oh, I didn't think about that, but
They
yeah, you're right.
they never stole it. They always had the number one crackhead was them. Think about it. How many of these guys went to go party? And it's funny because when we had our drug epidemic, you wanted to arrest the whole household, break up the family. No, we got to. But now they going through an opioid crisis. Look how it sounds, crisis. It
Hmm.
means we're under distress. Epidemic means, oh my God, these people are diseased. They need to be exterminated. See how words sound differently?
Yep.
But when they go through their opioid crisis, we got to give them treatment. When our
Oh
treatment
boy.
was to lock our asses up for one drug offense for what, 20, 30 years.
And I've seen the methadone clinics, and that stuff ain't no joke, bro, man.
No, it looks like you're working.
They lined up outside, wrapped around the building, trying to get that shot. And I
Looks
talked to
like
one
you're
of the
walk.
people that
Looks
drive them
like a
there.
gu-
They said they had to get that shot every single day.
yeah. Looks like a goddamn Walking Dead marathon.
Yeah.
But yet,
Yeah, I most of the
Go ahead.
most of the year I'm based out of Vancouver, Canada, and
Really.
near my office, the office is downtown, and there's a homeless shelter. And what I find fascinating was I had an experience once where a colleague was saying something very It was covertly, but it was also overtly racist in the sense that they were making some very derogatory remarks about Chicago and the drug abuse problem there. But like in Vancouver, there's the opioid crisis, and the situation is so bad that we had to have like resuscitation kits given to most employees in case we stumbled upon somebody overdosing outside. But they had the nerve to actually talk about Chicago, which was like thousands of miles away. But
What?
they're so flagrant with their disrespect that it's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny because I've seen pictures of Vancouver, and you got the goddamn people on the sidewalk lined up, passed the fuck out,
Is
and
it
it's
really that
funny.
bad in Vancouver?
It's gotten that bad thanks to opioids.
Wow.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
man.
funny because a lot of people like to point fingers at Chicago. That's because when we put up Chicago, we can't tell you about the homicide rate in Kentucky, Iowa,
Ooh.
Ohio. We don't want to talk about the mostly white states, which is most of them,
Hmm.
how their
Oh,
homicide rate and
hey
their
Charles, you know the
sir.
biggest joke in America is, although nothing happened in this small town here, all you gotta
Mm,
do is watch the murder shows.
yeah,
Everything
they
happens
get
in those small towns.
they get all kinds of like somebody's decapitated and they're putting the TV on the head, looking at the body. Like all kinds of grisly shit happens in those towns. Like y'all got some sick people in them little midwestern out of nowhere towns, and it's so funny that they'll make a black man the boogeyman. But how many black men you seen become Jeffrey Dahmer?
No.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Is there a black cannibal out there?
So, you got me.
Never seen one.
How many mass shootings did we create? Anybody?
None.
Exactly.
But we're supposed to be inherently violent. And what makes it really sad is that if they actually put the money, the time, and the research to actually get to know black people and to help solve the issues that we have, which they created,
Hmm.
you would get you would get the best out of anybody. Like I said before, we're the most American, but yet we're treated still like the Constitution isn't for us. Well, you're the only time you want to use the Constitution is to punish,
Hmm.
not for fair justice.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to get better at. I've noticed that when we are discussing things like, for example, mass incarceration or excessive police violence in certain cases, we do a bad job of not invoking the Constitution or our rights in the same way that others do when the government transgresses on them. So I say that not to get into like the policing issue. I say that more to say to build upon what Charles said, that we need to do a better job of speaking to our rights and taking ownership of the space that we're entitled to.
And what makes it, and to piggyback off of that, this is the reason why I have a disdain for ignorance. We're in the age of information,
Hmm.
and information is literally at your fingertips now. Stuff that you had to order a pack of encyclopedias or books that were god awful expensive from
Hmm.
a law school.
Or have to spend 20 hours in the library.
Yep, you literally, and I do mean literally, can find out what are your laws. Why is this police up? Can I video record this police officer? Which legally you can. I when I pull people over, I didn't care. I'm recording, you recording. Sure, make sure you get my good side. Like that's how I treated it. Like, what do I gotta hide? I'm doing an honest day's work.
Hmm.
But here's the problem: you got a lot of these politicians in the black community who would try to play slick back instead of doing their damn jobs. We even got Marilyn Mosby, who You're worth $5 million, and you're going
Oh,
through hard times.
wait, slow down. Isn't that the prosecutor?
Yes, that's the state's attorney of Baltimore City.
She worth how much?
5 mil.
Wow.
And you try to say you're going
Who is
through
she? Oh,
hard
let me
times.
shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up.
And she going through hard times, right? She's struggling with her properties that she sold and didn't tell it didn't have the tax man know about it.
Wow.
But see, if that would have been a cop, how many cops could still be in their position without being suspended or not being made to step down or fired? There have been guys who were lied on in the fucking department by some bitter ass girlfriend and were fired off of false charges. How can you be acquitted in court, or better yet, no criminal charges can be found, but you still terminate people? Looking at you, BPD. You want to talk about corruption? Let's start with your internal affairs first. You got so many goddamn people who've been in internal affairs. I guess you end up fucking making them detectives for it.
But that woman's worth $5 million. Okay.
She's worth $5 million. And you really think, and there's some tax shit going on too? And remember the rule of thumb. FBI doesn't investigate you unless they got you.
Ooh, yeah.
They don't come out for shit unless they got you.
Oh, the FBI is doing it? Yeah, they got something on her. They're just not telling it.
Not quite yet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
I know there might be some.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, trust me. I know my viewership went down a little bit. Must be some Marilyn Mosby fans, but but
Going back to what you said.
Go ahead.
Going back to what you were saying about defining black masculinity. How do you do that if most of the time there are no men in the home? Like, do you influence them as adults, or how do you go about doing that?
Well, one, you're gonna have to meet the children where they are, usually within being tutors and coaches and stuff like that. Or if they're in your neighborhood, you're gonna have to meet them where they are. See, I'm gonna first person to say yes. Every mentor should be fingerprinted and checked through local, state, and federal law enforcement to make sure you don't have no pedo things going on. Once all that's clear, yes, you would have to meet the children where they are at school, when they need a tutor, when they need coaches, when they need a mentor. So you got to go where the need is. And a lot of times, thank God for the laziness of a lot of these black mothers. If you say, hey, this is my background check, it's clear, we want to start a program with your child, we'll have an organization, or we'll take a rec, or we'll meet at the school or whatever, and you start from there. A lot of times, if you make it so where she doesn't have to watch her kid and she can have free time, go ahead. But yes, first and foremost, because I'm going to put this out there, yes, you should have background checks, because people are going to be quick. Oh, he said anybody should be up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can support that.
And whatever is and it's funny because till you actually become a mentor, a coach, or a tutor, you don't understand, and a lot of these kids damn sure don't understand what potential they have until you show it to them. Think about that. a lot of these kids will be like, "Wow, I didn't know that I was gonna be I could be a teacher. I could be a, have a degree in physics or be a biochemist or a police officer, soldier, special forces, or logistics." Because a lot of black kids are taught to limit themselves. You're
Mm-hmm.
always taught to tamp. You always treat it like an animal. When you're not cute enough to dress anymore, shut up. Go play your game. Get out my face. You're not looked at something that's ready to be cultivated.
Yeah, there was an interesting article that was a bunch of content creators actually covered it in the space where they were they I forgot if this was done by a university, but they were asking black mothers how much potential they thought their black sons had, and it was disgusting to see how many of these mothers grossly underestimated the potential of their male children.
Hmm. But
Mm-hmm.
yet they felt greater about their daughters. They felt great about their daughters. And this is the type of shit that goes around. And this is the culture. You do not believe in your boys. The only thing you want your boys to do is grow up big and strong so they can fight off the men you shouldn't be dating in the first place. There, I said it. I said it. That's
Agreed.
all the fuck. That's all the fuck they care about with their boys. Go work at Giants, but you would never dare say that to your daughter. You don't encourage him to go to college. If he's lucky enough to go to college, you want to take the credit. But if he ends up in jail, oh, his daddy wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
I just posted something on Facebook. If you and I just didn't put it on the boys. If your boy or daughter can't read and they live with their mama, it's their mama's fault. Don't you go look for that father.
Hmm. It's like it's like it, it's like a challenge for them not to go out there and be like an accent like, bitch, what the fuck you been doing? Like, what you been doing?
Yeah, it's crazy. Some woman on another panel I was watching a couple days ago took offense to the idea that the woman should be blamed. But if the child were starving at home or malnourished, who would be blamed? Obviously, if the child is in your custody, then ultimately what happens to that child is your responsibility. So, on the one hand, you can't have the presumption of custody in the family courts, but then also absolve yourself of blame once the child rearing goes awry.
Hmm. Hmm. And the failure of it is this: you get to such a point where mentally these women are trying to convince you that I get all the money, I get all the help, I get all the favor, but I shouldn't get any of the blame. I should never get any of that. And withstanding all this, I should also be able to blame the guy who's not there over the person who has damn near 100% control over the child. Your dominion already says you're at fault. Let's be serious. And one thing about accountability, they dodge that like goddamn Wonder Woman dodges fucking bullets with her bracelets.
Oh, they dodge it like Neo in the Matrix.
Like, pew.
It's
I
crazy.
don't know. But go ahead, go ahead.
It's quick. It's crazy how that's also spilled over into other communities. Recently, I was watching Megan McCain and Sarah, what's her name from The View, actually advocating that two blonde Republican women, but yeah, like the culture and the society is deteriorated to a rate where Not to deviate from the accountability, but like the fact that this is now normal, despite the fact that throughout the society, you could obviously see that there are problems popping up all over the place. But yeah, like we're still trending in that direction, and men are still still bearing the blame, even as society implodes on itself.
Mhm.
It's in such a way that your sons are not looked to be cultivated, and we're gonna have to start making bylaws if necessary. And trust me, in the next few months, you're gonna see me little by little show you how daddy ball. Because I'm not gonna just talk it, I'm gonna just walk it. We're gonna make bylaws. We're gonna if we gotta put kids through basic training our own way, we will do it. Sometimes you gotta get that kid away from that mother's ankles. They underneath that skirt. No, no, no. And that's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems. You're not seeing a lot of women get the best possible mate she can find. She's just looking for genetics, and that's it. And maybe I don't even know if she's looking for genetics. I'm starting to believe they're looking for the first hard dick they can find.
Mm.
Personally, I've always been somewhat resentful of the genetic argument because I don't think there's a dilemma between like having a physically attractive or tall man versus somebody that's productive. I think there's we have as normal a spread as there is in other communities, and many of the guys that are like impregnating these women, they aren't really walking around as supermodels. And how
No,
attractive would they have to be, like
I'm,
in
I'm
order
gonna
to
put it to
compensate for having nothing?
I'll put it to you this way: women are attracted to some of the weirdest shit. Women will find the weirdest shit cute in their words. And that's the point that I make is like they're looking for whatever weird genetics. They're not looking for if this guy is a good father. They're not looking for if this guy is a good provider. They want these weird little genetics to feel good. If this guy can make me feel good, regardless if he's 6'10" or 5'10" or 4'10", can he make me feel good? Can he entertain me? Things that are not tangible, things that are not going to be long lasting. That's what they believe. The carnal control they want. They either want a man that they can control carnally or they want a man that they can control fiscally. So they get what they get.
Agree entirely. I've always been of the opinion that part of like the feminism kind of manifesto is the end goal is a form of dominance over the man, and I feel as though, particularly in our community, you see this end goal kind of phenomenon happening where the women aren't necessarily gravitating towards what's the most attractive. They don't necessarily value money. It's more about that kind of autonomy and authority over the man, and they despise anything that goes contrary to the manifesto.
Yeah, they like men. They look for men the same way men look for women. That's why I said black women are just basically men without the penises. Oh, he look cute. I would have had his baby. You don't know anything about him, so think about it. If there was no government institution to enforce child support, which is only one way, do you really think that they would have all these babies? No, because these babies are a meal ticket. It's hard to get a woman with a baby or a child to starve in this country as long as she can take a negative child support. Then on top of that, they use these children as either extortion tools and or something pretty to dress up. And when they get out that cute dress up phase, and notice they dressed them up like the guys they want to date. I've actually seen one chick have the pants on a little baby, barely walking, and had his little pants sagging, and you could see his little diaper. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey,
Yeah, that
what's
kind
up?
of
Can
thing
y'all
really
hear me?
depressed me.
Yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's up, man? I just got off from watching that Obsidian video that he had with that the feminist
Pookie
chick.
Truth, what's up, Pookie Truth?
Man,
Oh, he got
damn,
he
AL.
got it.
Ooh, man.
He's got
What's
his
up,
mic
Poopy?
good. He got his mic good the first try. That's a first, man.
Damn, that nigga AL almost destroyed my eardrums right then. But what's up, brother? But man, but yeah, I seen that and I was just it's kind of disturbing. Just the general opinion she had. She was deflecting a lot. She never cited a single source, but it's funny how investigative she was in getting all his sources, which he had. It's just very interesting.
That's because it's called verbal judo, and it didn't work because you remember when I first went live with Pookie and everybody wanted to step up to the plate and challenge me of every goddamn thing.
Yeah,
You notice how that doesn't happen anymore?
niggas ain't got sources. That's why.
Not just that. It's
No,
because
Pookie Truth. Niggas don't read. That's why they
niggas
don't have
don't read.
sources.
Niggas don't read and niggas go by their emotions.
True.
And I've been through the trenches when dudes used to like myself, Cerulean, Angry Man, Grinch, and BGS. We would go to other people's panels and debate them. I am I am not afraid to debate anybody. Oh, you wouldn't. I had the first time, one of the first times I went live, I had a chick in the panel saying, "Oh, you wouldn't be saying this if Cynthia G was over here." I said, before I even went live, doing live streams, I already cut the hit off of that dragon. She doesn't want no more.
Yeah, bruh. Please. Cynthia G. I mean, she's small fry. I get why BGS says that because these educated females are ridiculous. Like this shit is kind of. I
And
mean,
that's another.
the
I'm
the
glad.
fact that it's disturbing that these people even have degrees, bro. Like I don't even know how the fuck did you get through 8 years of goddamn strenuous college? Like you were cheating or stuck in a fucking
Bill
some kind of.
Clinton. That's how
Well,
they
Mark,
did it. Bill
well,
Clinton.
Mark, Mark Twain always said, I'll never get my education getting the point of my getting the way of my learning." So, I mean, hey, just because you have a degree does not make you a brilliant person. It just makes you a good regurgitator of information. See, a person that's knowledgeable with a degree is the person who can actually break it down to you in layman's terms. Like right now, you got motherfuckers getting a PhD in grasshopper reproduction. You
True,
need to ask what. you know,
true.
you went to college all these years, siphoned up all this money, and this is the degree you got. I got my PhD
Botany,
in communications.
communications, my nigga. Botany, fucking you know what it is? Exotic speech, dance. It's just some of the shit I've fucking heard. But
I
niggas want
got
to
a
talk about my business degree. At least I can do that in any fucking field that you could possibly work in. Even if it was fast food, nigga, I could own your building and make you say, do what I say. How about that? As long as I
that's
got the money to start up.
that's true. I mean, but here's the problem: too many people out there are just are just here for the drama. They don't want a solution. They just want a drama. Some people come to the manosphere just to vent, which is cool. But what are you gonna
Charles, you
do?
didn't know most black people are just straight up crybabies? They've been indoctrinated to be crybabies. That's why they cry.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, why can't I get my way? Why can't I do this? Oh Lord, Jesus help me, Christ. Like, dude, what's wrong? I don't know. Think about it. You got young English men out here who can't find work, can't find if you can't find work, that means you can't find work experience. If you can't find work experience, people aren't gonna hire you. I had a debate with She Who Will Not Be Named a few years ago. It was like, why aren't these guys out here on the street? Why are they selling drugs? Because the motherfuckers ain't hiring them. It's been proven that if a black man finds a job, he's gonna work it. He might even do some. He's gonna probably most likely do some overtime because he like making money without having to watch his damn back. But what do we do?
George, you gotta say that one more time for the congregation. I don't think they heard you. What you was talking about. We rather work than have our back being watched.
See, I'm gonna say
They
the
don't
shit
hear you.
again for the. I'm gonna say the shit again for the niggas in the back with the spitballs and the paper airplanes and passing around notes that says, "Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe so." Studies have shown if you give a black man a job, he is going to work it and most likely do overtime because he enjoy making an honest day's living without having to watch his goddamn back. What's up, Z? Mr. C said, Charles, way too many people have college degrees and are mentally and physically 7 years old. Scarred, scarred soul suckers. Don't steal my ish. I say, you got the educated stupid. That's my line. And I was talking to my ex the other day. He said, Charles, you're right. I'm working 65 to 70 hours a week. I mean, shout out to my boy Mike White. That guy was making almost $200,000 a year in policing, just doing the overtime and the secondary. I was a little bit of an overtime junkie myself sometimes, depending on the season. But it always but one thing about black men, we're lazy and shiftless, right? We're lazy.
So
We
says
don't want to
so
work.
says the media. So says the
So
media.
so says the media. So says the education. So says the lying motherfuckers that they are. And every time, and this is what I look at black women for. How many times does a black man have to prove the status quo wrong for you to fucking get under his leadership? Do I have to move the fucking moon by fucking hand? Even if I had that fucking invincible strength, no, I would not. So it's funny how once we get a chance, we go above and over the call of duty and above it, but yet you're just not going to get us the chance which circumvents back into that 10.5 million jobs created and not one brother's getting hired from it. You would rather go 50 million in the hole in a time that you cannot lose money than to fucking let black men be your fucking brother, your champion, and your savior. How ridiculous is that shit? Somebody grab this mic. This shit is hot. Whew.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, given I don't want to tie this to immigration, but when you look at the immigration argument, where they argue that the U.S. needs workers, one third of black men having a brush with a criminal justice system and then being marked with a record. We're talking about DACA. We're talking about people that want to come to this country to work. We're talking about giving people opportunities to show that they could be a proper citizen. But on the other hand, we're also taking the black men that are already here, taking away their all the benefits of being a citizen. Typically, you want to become a citizen to vote. You want to become a citizen to work. You want to become a citizen to be able to create a family in one of the best countries in the world. But we're stripping that at an expedited pace from black men, and then saying they don't want to work when everybody the basis for the justification we're using for stripping these black men their ability to work is the same conduct that everybody else is doing, and we know this to be empirically true.
Exactly. We're see. Notice how you said empirically, which is the key word to your statement. Which means it's been documented, it's been researched, it's been cross-examined. Correct.
Exactly.
Notice how they will still come up with a narrative in their mind, even though years, if not decades, of research backs quite the opposite. Because we have yet to do the one thing that we should have as this country and get rid of that racist fucking root. You have yet to do that.
Agreed. I'm very outspoken about this topic because it's like this is flagrant as it gets. If everybody's doing the same thing, but others are being marked in in a way that keeps them from being able to participate in society in any meaningful capacity. Talk about cancel culture. If if there ever an appropriate use of the word, that would be the appropriate use of the term cancel.
Exactly. You only want to cancel somebody when they speak against you. Why not actually try to comprehend what they're saying first? Oh my God, you're trying to say that women are not the same as men? Yes, never been. Sorry. But when we treat you as such, you don't want it. It's too hard. Why are you being so hard on me? You said you wanted to be my equal. Now feel the burn.
And the criticism of cancel culture is it goes too far and it destroys a person's ability to have livelihood, a person's ability to work. But think about the margin of error you have as a black man in America. Cancel culture pales in comparison to the very thin margin of error you have in Black America, where somebody could get into a fight with you, be losing, and then just shoot you, or somebody could put a false accusation or something of this nature. But if you want to talk about getting canceled and surviving, like really on the kind of on with margins as thin as the edge of a knife. Yeah, that's what cancel culture looks like. Where one bad day could ruin the rest of your life. That's getting canceled.
Oh yeah, and that's part of growing up is just being a black and male, and it's disturbing, like you said, because we're sending our boys off to these colleges, and we're not preparing them for the real world of what these black women, white men, white women have in store for them. There's a lot of guys. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't interracial date. That's your own prerogative. But a lot of young black men who go to these colleges, you're having a nice relationship. If daddy don't approve of you, or you get caught doing the do with her, oh, I was raped. He forced me.
Typically, I'm with the SBM crowd, but I have to say that in my first year of university, a friend of mine actually ended up being accused of something within the first month of college by a snow bunny, if you will. And the,
Wow.
the the allegation was
First month. God damn.
yeah, first month in residence, and he ended up being kicked out of the first year residence and having to live in the third or fourth year residence. And the story became more was an evolving story from the woman. It ended up turning into like a criminal a criminal she ended up pursuing like criminal charges against this guy. And long story short, I had to go to court for with him. When the court case, I mean the trial finally began, the case was eventually they agreed on I forgot what the term was, but it was it wasn't probation or anything like that. It was more of some other a diversion for being like a criminally prosecuted for the crime. But the fact that it went that far, and then it was
PBJ.
ultimately
PBJ.
exactly.
Probably probation before judgment.
Exactly, and it ended up like depressing this guy, and like later on, in like 2 years past, after like university, he ended up kind of going into like a downward spiral without getting too much into what he was doing. But as a result of like this happening in his first year of university, he never went back, and um, he was a very bright guy, very well spoken, very well put together, had a good family as well too. But it's just you never know how somebody's going to react to one of these allegations, and it ended up
Yeah,
breaking them.
that will break you because a lot of times black men are never given a chance to actually to be heard. You're
Pookie, you
automatically
scream,
accused.
Pookie.
He's doing some jumping jacks. He's doing some jumping jacks. He's trying to show everybody his fitness routines. Don't
You
forget to
better work out some more.
don't forget to subscribe to Pookie's channel for his fitness. But going back to the conversation at hand, A black man is always guilty before proven innocent. Everybody had their preconceived notions. I mean, for the longest time, I wore uniforms, and I had people say, "Well, I'm glad you're here, officer." And I had to one day ask this one like older white lady, and I had to ask her, "Would you say that, ma'am, if I was not in my uniform?" And she says, "I wouldn't even know." And I can dress in three-piece suits. I've seen the pictures, but I also dress in my comfortable Jordans and my jeans and my sweats, my Adidas sweats. We don't get the ability to actually we don't get the ability to actually be a human being. We got to be a human doing. Like in order to be for somebody to happy to be seen, you have to be a police officer, firefighter. In order for you to be respected, you have to be doing something within computers or research. You always have to do something. You just can't exist and be great and be great. And shout out to Kay, navigating white folks and black women in the workplace. That right there is a class I would take. One screw up, you can set you back 5 to 10 years in your career. You ain't never lying.
I actually work
Yeah,
with a brother, and
they need to do like I do, just ignore them.
Hmm.
I worked with this brother like 2 years ago. And what happened with him was he he started like work at a very inopportune time. We were in the middle of a large refactor for the project. He couldn't really fit in because he really didn't understand the product and he didn't understand the code base. So he kind of sat to the side, and then the office allows you to work from home when you want, and he chose to work from home. But when he wasn't there, well, no, when he was there, they wouldn't allow him to touch anything because he didn't have enough experience. But when he would go home, they would talk shit all day about how he wasn't doing anything. And I told him about it since we used to commute by bus, both of us, to work. I told him what was going on and how they were talking about behind his back and saying he wasn't doing anything. But when he was there, they were telling him not to touch anything. He told me that he wasn't getting that vibe at all, quote unquote. And long story short, the last day he was there, he came over to see me at my desk. He was like, "Hey, this is where you work. That's great." The boss came in, fired him, sent him home, and that's what happens when you don't understand what's going on and you refuse to listen.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm not saying make yourself a target. I'm gonna tell people, look, learn your craft. I don't care what you're doing. If you're gonna be the best tap dancer on the street for quarters, be the best one you can be. Because this is what you're gonna be judged. You're gonna be judged on some shit that everybody else does not have. What's the word I'm looking for? The cushion or the parachute. We don't have that. Shoot,
The extra, the excess.
no, we do not. I'm about to go grab my medication.
It's the exact
Anybody have
thing.
any? Anybody have any last words?
It's the conversation you were talking about, Charles. It's the have and the have nots, the elites versus the 99. And what happens in these next couple decades will decide on how we will be living as serfs or as civilians. Depends on how y'all want to go out.
Yep. Aren't you doing a lot tonight?
My
Yeah,
last words are great topic as usual, Charles. Thanks for letting me get on the panel.
Thank
And
you. Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger.
I've actually been listening to you for some time. Like that Wonder Woman bracelet. That's a reference you've been making for the longest time.
Oh
I knew it was
yeah.
coming.
yeah.
Stop.
I,
Oh yeah. The stop reflective Wonder Woman.
I, I, I,
Yeah,
Don't
you
be a
used to play the GIF
stranger.
and everything.
Oh yeah. Don't be a stranger. Always welcome to the panel. It's good to talk to
yeah, where you be at,
brothers.
Casual Observer? Y'all, that's always good.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always in the comments. Vancouver. I work
Shout
from
out
home,
to Leah.
so like I listen to all the panels and I'm always in the
Oh
chats.
yeah. Shout out to Leon again. Charles wins flawless victory logic.
Yeah,
if you
casual
walk the
observer,
if you
you
walk the
good people, bro. We love you,
I'm gonna
man.
do, I'm gonna do a
we love you
Respect,
squadathon.
too,
bro.
That's
man.
what I do.
And thank you all because y'all give me the motivation Even during rough times, y'all give me the motivation to get on here and talk my shit on this bike, and hopefully somebody got something out of it. Thank you for all those who donated. Leon,
True.
if you're off today, we're playing the shit out of Call of
Hey,
Duty
like
Vanguard
the
tonight.
video, subscribe, comment, and dislike too if you hating. So that helps us too. All the bitch ass niggas feed our pockets as well. I'll be doing a fitness live. It'll be a squat-a-thon probably about 6:30, 7:30, a little bit later on that night. But
Post
yeah,
your
we'll be.
channel. Just don't spam it. Just post your channel. Especially
Oh,
for
okay.
those of you who want to get fit, you got a young brother with some energy here on your team. Hey, just try to keep up with him. He will get you there. Support him. Like I know y'all support me. Hey, go up there, get that fit, get right. Summertime's around the corner. It's at about 8 o'clock. All right, I'm down. AL, any last words?
No, you had a great show. Appreciate you. You know I do, big guy. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch you on all the other streams. You know how we do. Shit, we just
Oh
gotta keep
yeah.
holding each other up and keep putting this message
Trust
out and keep
trust me. I
re-indoctrinating these people.
trust me. As much as I help people, y'all been helping me going through my rough patch lately. But
Hey, you'll never guess who's in the car with me, Charles.
uh, who is it? Is it baby girl?
Yeah, I had to go snatch her up so she can
Hey
get
girl.
out the
Hey
car.
Miss Lady, how you doing?
She can't hear you. She a teenager. They got earpods in their ears. They too
Snatch
good
that
for
shit. Snatch that shit out. How you doing, girly?
it. She's in a world of her own, brother.
uh,
But now
just
I
give her a
got her.
hug and just give her a hug and kiss and tell her Uncle Charles said hello.
Okay, dog, I do that. Hey, all right, man. Appreciate everything you do, and we gonna catch you on the flip flop. Okay, dope.
All right. Another great show, another classic. Thanks to all of you. Woo! And we out.